Today, I don't think that's taking place.
Okay, I think we're coming up to a conclusion, and we will open the floor to questions, but trying to draw some conclusions around this topic, I would like to ask the panel two questions. One is, what regulatory changes you see coming in this part of the world, if any, and obviously, and especially you, Armin, as an experienced online advisor, if you were to locate in Asia, where would it be?
Definitely, I think there are going to be changes. I think, and I'm hoping that actually China is going to take a bit of a lead. In the Americas, the United States took a lead to a certain extent because it had a major impact even into Latin America. I don't think that was very positive, but you know, they took a certain lead. I hope that China is actually taking a lead for the positive, because there are still a lot of bigger countries around, being it Indonesia, being it India, if we talk about larger population bases, where actually a lot of it you know, should be taken a look at. But I think that China is more advanced, in a better position, with, let's say, a much stronger internet educated population on the basis of, let's say, its companies, its exposure, its growth, that hopefully, you know, the Ministry of Finance will take some real interesting measures that basically is going to bring it somewhat together. It's going to take years, but I do believe that they're damn serious about it. With regards to where to establish yourself, if you wanted to establish here, well, there are a couple of jurisdictions. I'd like to leave that open to the iGaming guys. I think that, you know, Kargiana has taken the lead. I think there are other jurisdictions that will offer that opportunity, you know, in the neighborhood. And I think, you know, worldwide, there are a number of jurisdictions that are quite comfortable, you know, to be located from.
Well, your views, since obviously you can operate iGaming from anywhere, so...
That's true, so you don't really need to establish in a certain country within Asia. Though if things were to change in terms of activity, in terms of government, one would need to look at where the market is, and India, with its technology, would be a good country in terms of the Asia region to establish an online arrangement. Especially given the love of the IPL and the like. So there's a lot of sport and activity that could be done on the internet. But that's purely a view in terms of market. But if I was setting up a online presence, one would not look past Norfolk Island.
Asia currently has the two largest gaming markets in the world, Macau and Singapore. When the Philippines finish up with their entertainment project in Manila, it'll be the third largest casino operation in the world, with Las Vegas being number 4 at that point in time. So Asia is clearly a major player, and I think within Asia, the major player as we go into the next 10, 20, 30 years will be China. And it will not just be the internet gaming issue, it will be in manufacturing and investment dollars overseas, and because they're already investing heavily in for example, the US and other countries. And we will see much more manufacturing occurring in China. And that in turn will force a lot greater transparency in order to enter the Western markets. But I think that that's going to be a very significant development over the next 10 to 20 years.
Well, at this point, I would like to ask if there are any questions from the audience. Gentleman over there.
As the title of this session is State of iGaming Regulation in Asia, which actual countries have by law allowed the internet or interactive capability in Asia? And number 2, over the next 12 months, which countries do you think will actually enter it and allow it? Any panel member, please.
Okay, so the only country, obviously, who is issuing online gaming licensing licenses in this part of the world is the Philippines through the Cagayan special zone. There is some countries, as I mentioned in my summary opening this session, where you have geo-blocking, and some countries where you don't have geo-blocking of access to internet gaming or internet sites that provide gaming products. So these days, I would say most of these countries will allow you to get online and play online in websites that are not geo-blocked by the respective jurisdictions where you're playing or placing your bet. As for the near future, Singapore has announced that it will review its Casino Act to include addressing online gaming, and that's probably the only jurisdiction I see that would be addressing that issue in the near future.
I'd like to go a little further than that. I mean, clearly Cagayan is not allowing, let's say, any of its operators to really beam into the Philippines. They're not supposed to, but it does. I think that the Philippines will come out. I mean, Phil Webb is effectively a licensee right now. There is another company that has the license, and I think we'll see a lot of activity within the Philippines with regards to online gaming, without a doubt. Clearly in China, as I mentioned before, they won't talk about it being online gaming, iGaming, but they will, open up the distribution channels, and definitely the mobile will be opened up very, very soon, likely this year. So those are significant developments.
Gentleman here in the front.
Hi. It seems like there's a lot of discussion on the regulation on basically the interface, basically handling the servers. But, I mean, wouldn't it be easier, or do the regulators to really manage kind of the payment side? Because, I mean, you talked a little bit, Harman talked a little bit about kind of coming to Macau, opening an account, and then going home and then being online. Well, I mean, theoretically, the bank regulators, if they've